They say trauma is cyclical and fame is fleeting. So, how will one homeless, heartbroken 17-year-old with a dream affect the next 10 generations to come? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Camsley, but you can call me Cam. And today we are starting a new legacy. So, first up, we're making our founder. The legacy that we're doing is going to be the Sour Legacy. It's based off of the Olivia Rodrigo album that came out a couple years ago. It was made by dizzywhims. It will be linked in the description below if you want to take a look at it and see for yourself what it's all about. But I will go over the basic rules and the setup for at least our first generation here. So I'm just going to read through everything while we go ahead and get started on making our gal here. So the rules and the guidelines are: play on whichever lifespan suits your gameplay style. I'm going to be using just normal lifespan with maybe a couple tweaks. If you want a real challenge, stick to normal. Your heirs can be whatever gender you please. Feel free to set your own heir rules. Just make sure to prioritize the generational goals first. My heir rules, I believe, is just going to be firstborn kid of each generation will inherit. Male, female, does not matter. You can sign off on each generation once you fulfill the aspiration, reach the top level of the career, and master all of the required skills. Complete all the generational goals and have the next heir reach young adulthood. I might tweak that one a little bit because sometimes I like to start as teens. Like this one actually starting as a teen, and there might be more in the future that I think are fun to start as teens, so we'll see. The last one is to build a graveyard where all heirs of the legacy will rest, keep their ghosts alive, and complete the Sugar Skull collection by the end of the challenge in remembrance of them, which I think will be fun. I've never done like a graveyard, kept the ghosts around or anything like that. I usually just like move right on, so I think that'll be kind of fun to do. So that's the general setup. The rules for the first generation are as follows. Generation 1 or Generation 0 is based off of the song Brutal. God, it's brutal out here. You're 17, dropping out of high school, and you found yourself completely on your own with one dream: become a pop star. The aspiration we want to complete is a musical genius. We will have the gloomy, music lover, and self-assured traits. We are going to become a pop star. They say the career is pop star. I'm assuming you could grab entertainer, but I'm actually going to find a modded pop star career and do that so we can be a little bit more specific, because I don't really want her to be like, is she going to be a comedian or is she going to be a musician? Because neither of those really will fit her. So I will be using a custom mod whenever I decide on the one that I'm going to use. It will be added to the description below in case you guys also want to play around with it. But career will be pop star. We have to master the guitar, piano, and singing skills. And then the story beats that we want to hit are: we are going to start as a teenager with $100 and a guitar. We need to make 2 best friends. And we need to drop out of school when we become a B-lister and eventually reach global superstardom. So this is Allie Blake. Allie is going to be our founder, our matriarch, our first generation of this legacy. Allie is, of course, starting out as a teen. As I mentioned, she's going to start with the music lover and the self-assured traits. She is definitely going to be going more for pop punk than just straight pop, at least to start. Maybe we'll see where her style evolves as she gets older, both in terms of like her fashion and her music. Yeah, so for right now, I'm just putting together her outfits. She's got a couple tattoos. She got one that's like a little music note, and then, or like a bar, and then another one that I think ends up being a cloud on her other arm. I will probably give her more tattoos as we go, but I didn't want to give her like full sleeves or anything to start, because I like the idea of just adding ones that become relevant to her story. But yeah, so we are putting together the outfits. Her color scheme tends to be red, black, and white. And like I said, she kind of likes bolder pieces. So things like her shoes will occasionally be very fun, or her accessories, or the type of just outfit that she puts together maybe isn't super typical, because she likes to stand out, and she definitely has her own style and her own flair. So for example, I'm putting together her prom outfit right now. And at first I was like, well, maybe I'll find her just like a fun little black dress, something kind of simple, because she is a teen, so I don't want it to be too fancy. But as I was doing that, I was like, I kind of want her, I don't know, I want her prom outfit to look really cool. So I actually changed it to, you'll see, I include like stockings and then like, what do they call them? They're not like full gloves. I guess they're kind of gloves, but like on her arms. And yeah, I think it's just really fun. And I actually can't wait to go to prom with her. I think it'll be super fun. So hopefully we are able to go to prom before we have to drop out. Might be our junior prom. I don't know. We'll see. But in terms of her family and her history and where she's starting in the challenge with all of that, her parents are not going to be involved right out the gate. At this point, she's already moved out on her own. Maybe she's done like the whole emancipation thing, so she doesn't have to be dependent on them in any way. She can make her own decisions. It does mean that she's going to be living dirt cheap with only $100 and a guitar. That's all we get to start. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her live in Del Sol Valley, and I just will build like a fake empty apartment. Hopefully it won't be like super expensive, just the build alone, because I wanted her to live in an apartment, but I also really wanted her to live in Del Sol Valley to start, since she wants to be famous. So I think that'll be a good move for her. Then we can go, you know, perform at the lounges and maybe make a little bit of money while we're a teen. So that will probably be where she lives in that situation. But yeah, so her parents kind of had high expectations for her. I'm so sorry if you can hear my dog, by the way. Every time I record, she's like, "Oh, do you want to pay attention to me now?" And I'm like, okay. Anyway, as I was saying, so her parents always had really high expectations for her to be like the grade A perfect student. They always, like, when they could still control like her fashion choices, it was always like super feminine, like perfect daughter kind of thing. And they really wanted her to, you know, be involved in things like debate club and all these extracurriculars, so she would get into an Ivy League school and go on to be like a lawyer or a doctor or the president, you know, something big like that. And that was just never her style. And so it ended up resulting in them butting heads quite a bit, and to the point where she would just start to kind of self-sabotage when they did set expectations for her, which would then only result in them, you know, kind of bringing down the grounding and the punishments and that kind of stuff a little bit more firmly. So obviously it was just not a great place for her to be, and she decided to strike out on her own to prove that the dreams that she had to become a musician, they weren't ridiculous, but they were things that she could actually make happen for herself, which is where the self-confidence comes in. So yeah, that's where we will be starting off. It'll be like shortly after she's moved out on her own into an empty place, $100, a guitar. She'll still be in school when we start, since we'll be dropping out once we become a B-lister, which will be interesting. We'll see if we can reach B-lister before the game ages us up. So I might have to fiddle with the teen age range until I can make that happen. But yeah, we will eventually be dropping out of school and becoming a superstar, and we'll see how our hectic life influences the next generation to come. That's one thing that I really like about this challenge, is every generation so clearly affects the next one, and none of them, there's maybe I think one that is like a more classic like happy ending kind of thing. It might be at the very end, whereas the other ones are like, the life is chaotic, and then you see how that carries on through the future generations. So I just think that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to playing that and seeing how that happens, since I tend to be a very straightforward Sims player, you know, where I'm like, I just want my Sims to be happy, get a good career, get a partner, have a baby, you know. So it'll be fun to add some drama into their lives. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited like I am for this. Hopefully I will be able to keep up with 2 videos a week, this and the 100 baby challenge, but one way or the other, we are going to get started on this, and we are going to see what happens to Allie and where her life takes her. So yeah, please stay tuned. There will be the first episode of this, hopefully will be coming out relatively soon, within the next week, and I will see you guys then. Thanks. Bye.